Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video today. I want to give you a quick energy update, so don't be surprised if people around you are suddenly becoming more honest, more open with you, more truthful with you. So what's happening today, I wrote something down and I will use it as an introduction for today's message, and I'm sure many of you can relate with what we'll be talking today about, because it's impossible to ignore the present time, the present urges we may feel, more in an intuitive level. So the message goes like this: masks will fall off and most people will be confused because suddenly they can't escape themselves anymore and they can't hide their pain and weaknesses. Finally, the time has come for the unbearable to be acknowledged, transmuted, and healed. What is beautiful is that there is already a part of you guiding you through that process. It's called courage. To hear it, you will need a sense of faith that can see a possibility in the midst of chaos. Welcome to a great awakening. So maybe it may sound a bit of abstract to you, but what I'm noticing every time I'm meeting new people, or if you just go outside, you see these things happening. So I'm seeing that people who are more acceptable to or more sensitive to energies, they can't pretend anymore. So for most empathic people out there, and there's many empathic people here in the community, so many of you will relate to that. Most empathic people are people who've been the most hurt in the past. And for a lot of time, because of these different hurts, you've developed maybe certain people-pleasing patterns, certain ways and coping mechanisms for you to hide your pain because you always wanted to be there for others. So what's happening right now, you can't do that anymore. You can't pretend anymore. The pain became unbearable. And what I feel, and I will try to put it into words as much as I can, even though I feel quite limited by my English language. But I feel it like that. It's, if we look at the darkness as the amplifier of everything, if you close your eyes or if you get into the dark room, if you have a lot of fears within you, these fears will be amplified. And also, if you have a great vision for the future in the darkness, that vision becomes more real, and also that vision becomes more amplified. The feelings around that vision becomes more amplified. That's why in meditation, if you're visualizing, it feels more amplified than when you open your eyes. So the darkness serves as a great amplifier of anything that you may sense. And when the energies are rising, if you look at the universe, most of it is darkness, dark matter. Also in your DNA, what some scientists call it as the junk DNA. It's like the darkness within the DNA, and darkness is the potential. But potential needs to be very, very well organized. It requires the masculine energy that's able to create structure out of chaos. Feminine energy is chaos, but it's also creativity. So within all the chaos, there are always incredible potentials. There's always an incredible potential structure that can completely transform your life. But you need to notice it, identify it, and then through a great ability of structuring your thoughts, feelings, and actions, you can then slowly transform a potential into actionable behaviors, into actionable moves that can help you to manifest the potential into your reality. So what's happening on the energy level right now, you can imagine that between the potential and your present life, there was a filter of pain, a filter of past traumas, a filter of your past ideas and stories, whatever you've been through, doesn't matter. And for a lot of time, that filter was kind of carried within you as a certain sense of weights. Like you've been walking around with these weights of your past, and you've been hiding it, and you've been pretending to be okay, and so on, until the kind of, let's say, the energies decided this is not helpful, this is not sustainable, this is not allowing you who you came here to be. And because the whole energies are rising and ascending, when it comes to ascension, it comes to greater goodness, let's say that way. It comes to greater goodness. Everything is aiming towards its perfection, and perfection is the greatest possible goodness there can be. And that is kind of an explanation of God. God is eternal, infinite goodness. You can say that way. But God is in everything. Therefore, when you came here, at some point you needed to learn to filter everything, to notice goodness in things, and to kind of filter the bad stuff out, the negative stuff out, the destructive stuff out. So what stays is goodness. That's how we are shaping our character, our personality, through constantly filtering and shaping and sculpturing us. Like, you know, having a piece of rock, and let's say that the potential of that rock is a sculpture you're aiming towards, and in your mind's eye you already see that sculpture, but you need to kind of shape off that structure. Then you need to take away the pieces of the rock that can't stay there, so that sculpture can show up, so that sculpture can exist. And that's what's happening to you. That's what's happening to many of us. Deep inside we have this deep, incredible sense who we can be, who are we becoming. But around 2 years ago, when I was making videos like that, people were waiting that this will just appear, like awakening will just happen, ascension will just happen, because like that was the wish for many people, a path of least resistance. But your soul is not looking for a path of least resistance. Your soul is looking for a path that will shake you up the most, because when you get shaken, you shake off the weights, the unnecessary weights. Like, for example, if you're wondering, like, or if you would be thinking about how to make your body the most beneficial to be prepared for life, you would recognize, well, if I lose some weights, if that's the case for you, you can be a better runner. If there's a danger, you will be a better runner if you lose some weights. Or if you're a more skinny type of a person, you may recognize, well, if I gain some muscle, I can be more prepared for life. And that's how you naturally start striving towards greater perfection in life. Aristotle said everything in nature strives towards perfection. In other words, towards the greatest possible goodness. We're all trying to be good, but in the past, people try to be good through positive thinking, through kinda, let's say, shaping their mindset to be positive and to ignore the negative. While maybe it worked in the past, right now it doesn't work anymore. It's something we've been talking in the live stream. So with this present energies right now, you may feel so much of fear present in your system. You may feel so much of limiting beliefs coming up. And limiting beliefs are just stories you've been telling to yourself over and over and over again around the things you think to be true, that later they showed up. They're not true. They are just your belief systems, but they are holding you back from being who you came here to be. They're really anchoring you into the past that don't exist anymore, sir. So therefore you're anchored in the illusion, so you can't live the life you truly came here to live. And whatever is the case for you, you're beginning to recognize that is becoming unbearable. Like, you can't pretend anymore. You can't tell lies anymore. You can't fake a smile anymore. You can't be like dishonest with others. You're finding out that the only way to truly experience a change in your life is firstly to become honest with yourself. And to be honest with yourself really means that you truthfully admit to yourself that maybe the worst possible fears that you have about anything should be acknowledged. And sometimes they also should be visualized, so you face with them, so you recognize, oh, what would happen? What would happen? Because you can't ignore the negative, you can't ignore the darkness. As long as you're trying to push it aside, it will be controlling you, and it will be making you feel stuck. And I'm seeing in the comments so frequently, like never before, I've started seeing people who are writing like, I feel stuck, I feel bad, I feel depressed and so on, because so many people feel like that. But it's not a depression. You're not stuck. You're just starting to feel what was inside of you for such a long time, but you've been ignoring, you've been distracting yourself from feeling it, you've been running away from yourself, and you can't do it, you know. You can only do it for a certain period of time, until it becomes unbearable. And when it becomes unbearable, you need to face with it. And this is the most incredible time to really face with it. And if you're wondering how to face with it, well, write about it, talk about it, feel it, meditate on it, and really ask yourself, what are the things you feel that you need to do but you're not doing it? So we can build a bridge between your intellect, because you already know so much, and your intuition and your physical actions. So we can really put into action what you feel that you need to do. Like when you have this sense you need to move to a new place, or you need to call that person, or maybe you need to find a therapist, or whatever is that thing, take action with it. Because you really, life is all about experience. It's not about what you know, it's about what you experience. But it's good if you can use your knowledge to expand your experiences. It's good if you read some books and then act upon what you've learned and challenge what you've learned. Like, is this truly this way? Doesn't matter if you're reading a psychology or psychiatry or philosophy or whatever you're reading. Challenge it by practicing it. And then as you're practicing it, you will see what will come up, and what will come up, acknowledge it and see what is actually helping you and what is just holding you back. Like, for example, so many times people are writing us, I love what you're doing and I want to do something like that. Like, I want to start a YouTube channel and I want to help people like that as well. But 1 month later they write a same message or something similar. So why don't you start? And then they say, yeah, well, I would love to, but I'm not like that. And those are already beliefs. Like, you're not like what compared to what? It's just something you feel that you want to do, then start doing it. You will never know who you can become until you start doing what you feel intuitively that you need to do. And don't mix intuition with your fears. Because intuition wants you to expand yourself, while fears want you to stay the same and stay stuck and stay in the comfort zone. So don't mix intuition for your fears. When people say, I would love to go into the gym, but it feels so uncomfortable, it feels like I'm forcing myself. Well, it's fear, it's not intuition, it's fear. Fear wants you to stay the same, stay in the comfort. Sure, going into the gym is uncomfortable because it's something new and it's probably something you don't have formed habit around it. And it's completely unusual for you. And when you will get there, most probably you will know you will not know what to do, so maybe you need to read a book about it or watch some videos about what to do when you get into a gym or whatever it is. But when you will go there for maybe 2 to 3 months, it will become something natural for you, and you will notice, well, I feel much better because I've stretched myself, and it will only give you a sign that stretching yourself is really healthy. Like doing something new is really healthy. And I'm talking about this right now because the present energy is supporting only what can help you to experience this sense of who you truly are. And it's so hard to put into words what this means, but many times you've experienced that. Every time actually when you're doing something you truly love, or when you're doing something that you know that is really good for you, that is healthy for you, or that is good for a relationship, like even getting into a fight sometimes in a relationship, if you know that it's a constructive conversation that will eventually resolve an issue, you know it's a good thing that's happening. When you're doing that, eventually you experience a sense of liberation, and liberation is like peeling off a a certain layer of yourself that was that was before serving you as a certain sense of delusion you've pulled onto yourself to pretend to be like someone else or to hide certain aspects of yourself from that person. Well, now you can't do it anymore. You don't want to do it anymore. If you really want to awaken yourself, you firstly also need to bring your darkest stuff into the surface, acknowledge it, know it's part of you, and know what to do with that, what to do with your weaknesses, what to do with your darkest possible fears. I know for myself, like recently, I've started experiencing fears of losing what I've built. Like, what would happen if I would lose this YouTube channel? If everything would start falling to such a degree that I would feel like a loser, that I would feel like a weak person, like I was building it, I was working on it, I was building the community, and I would lose all of that. And then I was wondering like from where these feelings are coming from, and I've noticed while I still have an attachment to the growth, like when things are growing, I feel successful, but when things are falling, I feel unsuccessful. And I've noticed, well, it's not, maybe it worked in the past as a sense of motivation, but it doesn't work anymore for me. So I faced with those fears, or perhaps I'm still facing with them, with an attitude like, I'm completely fine if I lose it. Like, I wasn't building it to have it. I was actually doing it to share a message. And I feel like I've already shared everything that I have, that I've already shared with you everything that I have to offer. And even if I would stop right now, I know that I've done my best. I've done my best with my art. I've done my best with what I know, with my knowledge. And I'm okay with that. I would be satisfied. So, however this journey will turn out to be, I'm fine by that. I know that God put me here into this position for a reason. And sometimes we really need to filter our lives, to let go of the things that are not working for us anymore, to filter out the false ideas about ourselves, to detach from things that provided us a sense maybe of success or a sense of belonging, to recognize that we already belong because we are alive, and we are already successful if we can be grateful for what we have. And I'm just, discovering the power of these words even more, because I'm noticing you can easily fall into a state of sadness, or into a state of cynicism, or into a state of frustration because you're not seeing what you would like to see. But if I remind myself to notice that it's still such a privilege to be in a position in which I am and in which you are right now. Doesn't matter where you are. If you can find yourself being grateful for where you are, you will notice that in front of you is just nothing else but a path of even greater things that are waiting you. And sure, to get there, you will really need to shake off this false limitation that you've been projecting onto yourself. But it should be an easy job for you, because you want to make this journey of transformation something challenging, something sometimes even unpleasant, because you want to experience yourself in a greater possible light that you can be. And in the greater possible light that you can be, I mean to become lighter. And to become lighter, I think it's only possible if you become more truthful, if you become more honest. And to be honest means you can't talk about the things that are not real for you. And you want to walk your talk, because only that way you can really know if what you think about is true and real, and does it work, and does it really make your life better. Only by walking your talk you can really understand the words you're thinking about, and therefore easily you can let go of the thoughts that are not helpful for you. And it requires a great ability of structuring your life, like waking up with a sense of gratitude and with a great clarity. How will you live this day that's in front of you? What will you do? And how will you show up to the world? And what will you bring to the table today? And how can you stay true to your responsibilities? And how can you be accountable to what you're saying that you will do? To yourself, to the community, to your family, to whoever. And how can you make a priority the greatest possible goodness that can emerge out of you, not by ignoring the negative, but by working through the negative, like shaping your character until you can integrate the lessons that you've learned within your life from your past to become the greatest version of yourself you can be right at this moment. I think it is a very healthy approach you can have towards yourself, and to notice that maybe emotions are not the best guiding mechanism, but they are always a signal that there's something you need to take care of, especially if they're negative. But most definitely, they're not signals to ignore. And that's something you're finding out right now. So I want to be this voice of encouragement for you to really focus on what matters. To focus on what, to really do what you will be proud of in the future. That's how you invest your energy into the future. To do something today you will be proud of in the future. And when you really focus on that, it will be much easier to decide what you have to do. So my friends, I hope you found great value in today's video. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Till next time, one love. Hey my friends, I hope you've enjoyed in today's video. I want to remind you that we've just opened a fresh new store called AttractPassion.com, where you can find all of my work. Original paintings, you can find prints of all of my art in different sizes, so go there and check it out, AttractPassion.com. If you will use the code PASSION15, PASSION15, you will get 15 off onto your first order. So go there and check it out. And to anyone who would love to work with me one-on-one, I'm offering one-on-one coaching. We have some free spots once again. You can go and check out the link in the description of this video where you can find everything there. So go and check it out. If you would like to do something with the inspiration that you feel right now, it will help you so much to transform your life. I want you to do something with it. If you feel inspired, you have to do something with it. So my friends, till next time, one love.